Hey friends, what's up? Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Hope you guys are doing well. Today I've got for you 10 different designer fragrances that are worth every single penny. And for this list, I went with fresh fragrances. So all of these are really wearable, very clean, great for the office, great for casual use. Just that type of scent profile that pretty much everybody is gonna enjoy. All of these are gonna be linked in the description. Let's get started right away with Sol Marin from Kenzo. And this is one that surprised the heck out of me because as far as the note breakdown goes, really boring. C notes, lavender, guaiac wood, and sandalwood. That's pretty much it. So this is one of those ones that I talked about with the This Week in Fragrance video when it was first announced. And back then I was just kind of like, okay, we'll see. Because some of the fragrances in this Kenzo Homme line are really good, and then others I don't like as much. Like Eau de Toilette Intense, I'm not a big fan of that one. And this one, like I said, just kind of looked boring, essentially. But I ordered it when I saw it pop up online. I actually ordered it from Europe, and then when it came in, I was really pleasantly surprised. First off, bottle looks cool. I like it. It has a similar color scheme to Eau de Toilette Intense, but then it has a gradient where it gets darker and kind of a matte finish at the bottom. Looks cool. And the fragrance itself is actually kind of similar to Eau de Toilette Intense, which is the one that I like the least from this line. But it's like Eau de Toilette Intense if everything was done more to my taste. So with that one, EDT Intense, there are some aspects to that fragrance that are a little bit off-putting. They come across a little odd, which is unfortunate because that one has a more interesting note breakdown with fig in there. But yeah, it's just got some parts that just don't work for me. This one though is a little bit smoother while still incorporating a lot of the same facets. There are no off-putting things going on here. There's nothing that sticks out like a sore thumb. It's got a hint of like a creamy sweetness to it, but it's not overbearing at all. It's got solid performance, projects really well, lasts for a long time also. So if you're a fan of this line, you should keep your eyes open for this one. You know, once it hits discounters, if that price starts to dip down, I would scoop it up. I would say of the ones that I have in this line, this is the most versatile one for me personally. This is the one that I would reach for the most. Really solid during spring, fall, winter, maybe even summer when it's not crazy hot out. Just really well done. It's one of those fragrances that's maybe not like changing everything. It's not reinventing the wheel, but it's taking something that's already established and fine tuning it. Another fragrance worth every penny. My fragrance. I did that, it was expertly done. This one is South Slope. It used to be called Blue Ridge, but it's not called that anymore. It's called South Slope now, but it's the same fragrance. You can find these at every fragrance outlet, every Perfumania in the country. You can also find them at Michael Malul's website, which is linked in the description. Michael Malul X Gents. I'm working on 2 new fragrances. They'll be out next year. That's what all these little bottles are. And then I also have these ones over here, which are West Loop, Edgewater, Jet Black Enigma, and Terra Nova. Those are also available in stores or online. And you can use the code GENTSENSE to save 20% online if you order any of these. That's at Michael Malul's website again. And after the code, these are $112. So 112 bucks. Compare that to what most fragrances are going for at retail nowadays. Pretty cheap. And South Slope is a fragrance that is a blue fragrance, in case you couldn't tell. It's got some similarities to stuff like Y Eau de Toilette, Y Eau de Parfum, kind of in that wheelhouse. Fantastic sweetness, huge compliment factor with this one, and really year-round versatility as well. Also marked it up with fingerprints all over it. That's not one of the official fragrances. I just wanted to shill for myself. Yeah. I do love it though. I love all those. Next up, okay, yeah, Acqua di Profundo. Eau de Parfum. This is the new Eau de Parfum. Really, absolutely adore this one. My favorite Acqua di Gio, and it ain't close. Well, maybe it's a little bit close, but it ain't close. But it is a little bit close. Absolutely love what they did with this. I'm not a big fan of taking things that I really like and having them messed with. Not really keen on that, and that's what happened with this, because the original Acqua di Gio Profundo, I love that, and then they changed it. They put it in a new bottle style right here, which I actually like the new bottle style more because it has a gradient, and gradients are cool. I'm very simple. Give me a gradient, and I'm like, whoa, color is dark, not this dark. Cool. So they did that, and I said, okay, fine, fair enough. Let me smell it. And Then I did, twice now in this video anyway. And they took that original Acqua di Profundo and they ramped up the sweetness a little bit, which while it's not a massive change, actually did improve the overall fragrance for me. Because when you first spray this on now, that extra bit of sweetness grabs your attention in a way that the original didn't. That being said, again, for the 18 millionth time, I love the other Acqua di Profundo, ain't nothing wrong with that. But they added that little bit of sweetness. They kept the minerality, but they reined it in ever so slightly. They balanced things out in a new way, which made it even more appealing. It has massive versatility. It's an Acqua di Gio. Ultimately, you can use it whenever you want, wherever you want, and it's a huge compliment puller as well. As I always say when it comes to Acqua di Gio though, while this is my favorite, your favorite might be the Eau de Parfum, or the Parfum, or the Eau de Toilette. So you should absolutely go into a store, any store that has fragrances, talking Sephora, Ulta, Macy's, etc., Perfumania, the fragrance outlet that we talked about before, and they should have the Acqua di Gio lineup, and you can smell each one of them and figure out which one works best for you. But as far as fresh fragrances go, Acqua di Gio is just about always worth the money. Let's throw it back to Luna Rossa Carbon up next from Prada. Now, this is essentially Prada's version of Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. It's really similar to that one. And it's extremely well done. And in typical Prada fashion, it's not as aggressive or abrasive as Sauvage Eau de Toilette is. While it's very similar, this one is a little cleaner, a little soapier, a little smoother overall, maybe even a touch sweeter off the top as well. So you're gonna get that same versatility as you would from Sauvage Eau de Toilette, maybe even more versatility because it's, again, a little bit classier in comparison. And just like Sauvage Eau de Toilette, huge compliment puller as well. Let's go with this one, Herrera Birds of Paradise. So they came out with CH Passion, which that is also a very nice limited edition fragrance. And then this one this year. This one is $117 at full retail. You can still find it as of this video on Carolina Herrera's own website for that $117 price point. So be aware of that. Don't pay more than that. I mean, that is full retail. The reason I bring that up is because I saw this on eBay going for like $150 to $160, or at least that's what some people are asking on there. And while this is a limited edition fragrance, it's still available from the manufacturer. So it's not like this is suddenly impossible to find or anything like that. I know it's not an enormous difference in price, but don't go on eBay and pay, you know, $150 to $160 when you can buy it straight from Herrera for $117. That's all I'm saying. It's got kind of an interesting note breakdown because it has the note of chamomile in there off the top, along with violet as well, tonka as it dries down. You also have fir, driftwood, sandalwood, some of the other notes in the fragrance. It has a really nice tropical scent profile to it. It has sweetness off the top that might remind you a little bit of Paradise Garden from Jean Paul Gaultier, but at the same time, it has underlying facets from the original CH Men as well. So if you're really familiar with CH Men, you can pick that out in here also. These CH Men limited edition fragrances don't often get a whole lot of love, and so it can be a fragrance that for $117 sets you apart, gets compliments, gets attention, has versatility that most nobody else is going to be wearing. Good stuff. After that, Why Live from Yves Saint Laurent, or Why Live, the sweet fragrance for depressed boys everywhere. Why Live. Terrible naming convention. Why Live is one of the more overlooked fragrances from the line, and to me, one of the best. Although I like just about the whole line, to be fair. So most of them are one of the best. This basically takes the idea of why and marries it with the idea of Invictus. So you put those together and you get Why Live. So this is a fragrance that's very sweet, but fresh at the same time, and it bounces out really nicely. You know, it's got those clean laundry-esque vibes from Why Eau de Toilette, and then a bit of that bubblegummy sweet freshness from Invictus. It's a massive compliment puller. Extremely versatile as well, and at least in the US, not many people wearing it. You know, there's tons of hype for Nitro Red, for example, which is kind of like an Invictus-y twist. And while it is way cheaper than this one, to be fair, this does have higher quality, and it's just as good, if not better, in terms of positive attention. So Why Live, showing that love. This is the only clone fragrance in this list, and I include it because it's just absolutely dirt cheap, and it's Theorem by Rue Broca. So this is an offshoot of Offnon. So if you've not heard of this brand, you've probably heard of Offnon, same people basically. On eBay, some people are asking $69 for this one. Don't pay that much. You can find this pretty much all day for about $25. A lot of times you can find it less, but it is a little popular. And so of course, anytime that happens, you're gonna have some people trying to price gouge. So I'm guessing what's gone on is, you know, sometimes this will sell out at most of the big discounters. And when that happens, some of those sellers on eBay will raise that price up a lot and hope that people will pay, you know, 2-3 times as much for this as they really should be. So be aware of that. 25 bucks, that's really where you want to be with this one. I mean, anything under 30 is still good, but once you start going up, you know, 45, 50, 60, $70, that's way too much. So this one is a clone of Tiger, Bulgari's Tiger, and the citrus off the top is amazing. Smells great for a fragrance in this price range. A little bit creamy, very sweet and rich. You've got amber underneath, a little bit of woodiness and musk as well, and a touch of warm spice that pops out a little bit more as the fragrance dries. Good performance, great quality, great price. It's one of those ones that you can use during spring, during summer, early fall, and if people ask you what you're wearing, you can tell them a fragrance that is infinitely more expensive than what you're actually wearing. Just keep it to yourself, secret. Follow that one up with Missoni Wave. Good old Missoni Wave. I'll use this as an opportunity to once again deride Missoni and say that we need new fragrance, please. Thanks. They came out with Missoni Parfum Pour Homme, which is kind of similar to Bleu de Chanel. They came out with this one, and then they came out with nothing. And it's been out for a while already. 2020 is when that came out. So going on 5 years now. That's not good. Now, I'm not saying they're never gonna come out with anything again. Missoni's gonna come out with something eventually. It's just, I don't know if they're not, you know, gonna keep on with this line, or if they will. They're just taking their sweet time. I don't know. All I'm saying is, between releases, when you start hitting that 5-year mark, that's not great. So it has C notes, it has citrus, it's got lavender, a bit of woodiness as well. A touch of like floral aspects along the edges of the scent. Extremely fresh, very clean. Price point is nice at discounters. Not too expensive at all. Bottle looks good. Comes with a magnetic cap. A lot to like there. Also kind of similar to Allure Homme Sport and Versace Pour Homme, so in that style. It's just like a staple summer cheapie at this point. As long as you can find this for a good price at discounters, it's gonna be a fragrance that people can rock all summer long and feel good about. Up next, let's go to Legend Eau de Parfum from Mont Blanc, which is similar to Legend Eau de Toilette, which is similar to Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, and then there's also Percival from Parfums de Marly, which is similar to those. There's a lot of similarities going on. Basically, Legend Eau de Parfum is like the more grown-up take on Legend Eau de Toilette. It's a little bit higher in, the quality is a little bit higher, it's more mature, not quite as sweet as that one. Great performance, has a really appealing kind of slightly floral with violet in there, woodiness, little leather, touch of citrus as well. Now, it's a scent profile that you've probably smelled. I mean, most of us have smelled Legend or Fierce or Percival or any number of fragrances kind of like that. And there's even like Axe body sprays that kind of get that kind of vibe going on, right? So you smelled it. It's just for the price point, this one smells very well done. It's not very expensive. Performance is good. It's a year-round fragrance, daytime or nighttime. You can wear it to the office, wear it casually, wear it on a date. You can wear it in more formal occasions. It's just a great bang for your buck. From there, we go to Ralph Lauren's, I had it backwards, Ralph Lauren's Ralph's Club. The cap, it does this thing. That's cool. I do like it though, for real. Ooh. A little bit in the style of Yves Saint Laurent's Y, same perfumer, did both, but Ralph's Club is not quite as sweet. It's a little more aromatic, slightly more grown up, still has great usability. This is another one that's year round. Daytime, nighttime, any season, doesn't matter. No breakdown, very simple. It's basically lavender, clary sage, vetiver, and woods. That's it. It's one that didn't get a huge amount of love from the fragrance community when it was launched, but it's one that I've always really enjoyed just as a day-to-day, versatile, easy reach type of fragrance. So this is just one of those jack of all trades type of fragrances, and it's one that's always worked really well for me. Last but not least, Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir For Homme Eau de Toilette Extreme. Gotta always love those naming conventions, right? Eau de Toilette Extreme. Because if you just put normal Eau de Toilette on there, people will be like, sucks. Then they'll look closer and go, wait a sec, was that? Extreme. I have to own this. That's freaking amazing. Whoa. It is extreme. Oh my God. I'll take 10, but if they see Eau de Toilette, they go, Ooh, lame. I bet that sucks. Don't even spray it. Garbage. Ugh. Now I know, guys, I know. It's a naming convention. You know, eau de toilette, it's telling you, oh, it's a little fresher than an eau de parfum, and then extreme means, yeah, while it is an eau de toilette and it's fresh, it's extreme. It's gonna last a while. That's what they're telling you with that. I know, I'm on their games. So this has citrus, ice, basil, and musk as some of the notes in the fragrance. So you have a little aromatic tinge to it when you first spray this on, but it's also very fresh, very brisk and uplifting. But in typical Narciso Blue Noir style, it's also a little bit more mature than your more typical blue or fresh fragrance. Has a nice classiness, nice sophisticated edge without going too sweet either. Could remind you a little bit of like the Declaration fragrances from Cartier, kind of like in that wheelhouse also. So it's like a very versatile, middle-aged and up blue fragrance that also doubles as something that you could wear in more formal situations also. And it flies way under the radar. So there we go, guys. There they are. 10 fresh fragrances worth every penny. Some of these extremely affordable, which makes them worth every penny. And some of these just darn nice. Darn nice. That's a dang good fragrance right there, brother. I'd wear that every day. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.